highlight, he talked about having tradition and history from day one. Dave Tippett talked about having like an original six feel. I'm curious how much the history of Seattle hockey means to you and the significance of the Canadians coming back, and do you want to communicate any of that to your players?
Well, history and tradition and building that, building new history, new tradition, building off of the old traditions is extremely important. I believe that over time that empowers and drives a team to ultimate success. Our players are aware of some of the history. I believe at this point in time their focus is more so, on a day like today, more so on building, our own traditions within our dressing room. But I think the two of them are important and mesh well together.
Dave, your players the other night generated far more chances than they have in a while. Obviously, a lot of them didn't go in the net. So, as a coach, what can you do? How do you approach this with them? Do you just say, oh well, keep doing it, you'll get the bounces, or are there other things more concrete that you work on to try to ensure that some of the stuff?
Well, I think it goes beyond that. I think what we saw, in my opinion, the other 2 nights ago, we saw a team that's closer to our identity. We did a lot of things that fit within what we want to be. We didn't give up very much defensively off the rush. We tracked the puck very well. We broke out much better than we have in previous games. And then getting up ice, we created and generated off the rush. We created and generated through some ozone play. Now we have other pieces we have to add to that to be complete. But those are all good signs. So it's not just the scoring chances. Those are positives, and everybody wants to finish a little bit more on those. That'll come if we continue to to generate the offensive opportunities. The finish will come. But my biggest focus, and as a staff and a team, our biggest focus is continuing to work towards that complete identity. And as I said, we took a step in the right direction the other night. But at the same time, let's be blunt and let's be honest. It's about winning games and gaining points as well.
When you're looking at evaluating that identity, is that something you solely look at through games, practices? Do you look at maybe who's asking questions in film sessions? Like, what are those things you look at to say this is how close we're to getting where I want us to be?
Yeah, no, Ryan. It's what we look like on the ice. It's what we look like on the ice, and as I said, we believe we looked close to that the other night. And there's still some pieces that that we have to add in order to regularly and continually close out games.
Curious, I know you did this in Philadelphia before, but how would you describe what it's like trying to build that when you were at UND versus when you're at the NHL? Like, are there similarities? Are there differences? Or is it hockey's just hockey, or how would you assess that?
It's a tough question. Yet there's a lot of similarities. Without a doubt. This is a little bit different because we are building from day one, from the ground up. So that's a little bit different when you have players from different organizations that are coming together. Everybody has different habits. Are accustomed to different systems. So that's all a part of it, is stepping towards what we want to be and having everybody, to be able to play within, a certain system is one thing. To do it really quick and fast and do it at game action is another. And again, like I said, I believe we saw that come together more and more each game, and we have to keep pushing that envelope.
Dave, you mentioned a couple more pieces that you'd like to add a couple times. What are those pieces? What comes next?
There's a few different things. I believe in this building we have to start a little quicker. Our first period the other night was okay, but it was a pretty even first period. I thought we tilted the ice in the second period. So that's one area, especially on home ice in this building, that can be more of a focus for us. The other night we also lost a specialty teams battle. Now, if you really break it down, our power play set up our first goal. We had a great power play. set up, you know, the momentum that we ended up, I think, holding the zone after that for close to another minute. So a lot of credit goes to the power play there, but statistically, we lost the specialty team battle 1-0.
One of the things that Gruby said after the game was that all the lines need to be doing the same thing. Where would you like to see some more consistency?
Well, everybody's each line will look a little bit different based on personnel, but the way we want to, play is consistent throughout the lineup. So, you know, we're going to tweak things again in terms of, you know, with our forward groups, and you know that, you know, is what we will, you know, want to try to push us more towards that consistency. You know, to one of the areas, you know, I've said we've gotten better without the puck. You know, we really like the way we tracked and got the puck back the other night. You know, you're talking about forward groups and everybody doing it the same way. We need to spend a little more time in the offensive zone and with our team as we learn about our team and what our personnel's strengths are. There's different ways to go about that. But that's one of the things we talked about a little bit today, is just different ways that we can come up with more pucks and allow us to spend more time in the offensive zone, which will lead to good things for our team.
How do you manage the pressure that is put on your goaltenders and Philippe Grobauer when you're in a situation when your team doesn't score a lot of goals, your defense number are not that bad, but still you give maybe, I guess, more goals than you want? How do you manage this goaltending situation?
Well, you know, just to address that situation, we're a team that will become comfortable as we move forward, being in close, tight hockey games. Our goaltending is outstanding. Philippe Grubauer is a rock back there for us. You know, we'll feed off of what he does for us back there, and you know that's part of the discussion here today is you know, we need to score a little bit more, not a lot. Not a lot. Our team can be a real sound, solid defensive team. Rely on Gruby and Dreege or Joey back there to do a great job for us, and then, you know, play with confidence going up the ice the other way.
Dave, you mentioned Kelly back for one game. Yanni?
I'll come right to you. No.
You had Kelly back for one game, Yanni back for two. What did this last week tell you about the long-term value and impact that they're going to make this season?
They bring so much energy to start with. Those guys, every single shift, they bring pace and quickness and tenacity on the puck. They also are both very hungry defensively. So you see good structure and good production on the defensive side as well. You know, with those two just coming back into the lineup, they haven't had a whole lot of time with their line mates. So that, you know, the offensive side, you know, you would assume that will grow over time as well. I think Yanni Gord was involved in 8 to 10 scoring chances the other night, so that's a pretty good place to start. You know, Yanni was a part of several of those.
Hey Dave, you got some practices last week that you needed. Is it a good thing to be practicing here as well for these players?
Well, yeah, you know, we wanted to spend the week here with the game schedule. It makes a lot of sense. Number one, just logistically to stay here and practice all the way through. Also, this is our, you know, now our second day in the building, so it's a good thing for us to be able to spend time here in our home building and get our practice time in. You know, we went for about 40 or 45 minutes today. You know, that's about the maximum amount of time we're going to get practice-wise, you know, through most of the parts of the season. So, you know, we felt strongly that this was a real good week for us to spend here.
You mentioned that the goals will come, and it looks like you have 3 or 4 guys who might be a little snake-bait chances. Do you talk to them? Do you just repeat that message to them, or does it depend on the player about not getting?
It absolutely depends on the player. There's not a whole lot that I'm going to say that's going to help the puck go in the net. I think it's a matter of feeling comfortable, confident, and pushing at the right time for those guys. You know, we've got some very good veteran players here, and that's the point that I want to make. We don't have to score a whole lot more. We just have to continue developing a complete 200-foot game and being real comfortable in close, tight hockey games, because we're going to be in a lot of them this year.
Thank you, Dave.
Great, thank you.